Three Sisters by Anton Chekhov.
I'm Heather Danskin, and I'll be playing Olga.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Youm, like Zoom, and I'll be playing Masha.
Hi, I'm Alison Starr, and I'll be playing Irina.
Hello, Melvin Smith. I'll be playing Andrei.
Hi, I'm Caroline Adams, and I'm playing Natasha.
Daniel Hubbell, I'll be playing Kulygin.
I'm Ernie Molina, and I'll be playing Vershinin.
I'm Emmanuel, Catalan. I'll be playing Tuzenbakh.
I'm Nessa Amherst. I will be playing Solyony.
I'm Paul Brewster, and I'll be playing Chebutykin.
I'm Sarah Pfanz. I'll be playing Fedotik.
I'm Erin Klarner. I'm playing Rode and narrating.
I'm Stu Fischer. I'm playing Ferapont.
And I'm Nicole Godino, and I'm playing Anfisa.
Act 1, in Prosorov's house, a sitting room.
It's just a year since Father died last May the 5th, on your name day, Irina. It was very cold then and snowing. I thought I would never survive it. And you were in a dead faint. And now a year has gone by. We are already thinking about it without pain. And you are wearing a white dress and your face is happy. And the clock struck just the same way then. I remember that there was music at the funeral and they fired a volley in the cemetery. He was a general in command of a brigade, but there were few people present. Of course, it was raining then, raining hard and snowing.
Why, think about it.
It's so warm today that we can keep the windows open, though the birches are not yet in flower. Father was put in command of a brigade, and he rode out of Moscow with us 11 years ago. I remember perfectly that it was early in May, and that everything in Moscow was flowering then. It was warm too. Everything was bathed in sunshine. 11 years have gone, and I remember everything as if we rode out only yesterday. Oh God. When I woke this morning and saw all the light and the spring, joy entered my heart, and I longed passionately to go home.
Will you take a bet on it?
Oh, nonsense.
Don't whistle, Masha. How can you? I'm always having headaches from having to go to the school every day and then teach till evening. Strange thoughts come to me as if I were already an old woman. And really, during these 4 years that I have been working here, I have been feeling as if every day my strength and youth have been squeezed out of me drop by drop. And only one desire grows and gains in strength.
To go away to Moscow, to sell the house, drop everything here, and go to Moscow.
Yes, to Moscow as soon as possible.
I expect Andrei will become a professor, but still, he won't want to live here. Only poor Masha must go on living here.
Masha can come to Moscow every year for the whole summer.
Everything will be arranged, please God. It's nice out today. I don't know why I'm so happy. I remembered this morning that it was my name day, and I suddenly felt glad and remembered my childhood when Mother was still with us. Oh, what beautiful thoughts I had. What thoughts?
You're all radiance today. I've never seen you look so lovely. And Masha is pretty too. Andrei wouldn't be bad looking if he wasn't so stout. It spoils his appearance. But I've grown old and very thin. I suppose it's because I get angry with the girls at school. Today, I'm free. I'm at home, I haven't got a headache, and I feel younger than I was yesterday. I'm only 28. All's well. God is everywhere. But it seems to me that if only I were married, I could stay home all day. It would be even better. I should love my husband.
I'm tired of listening to the rot you talk, Solyony. I forgot to say that Vershinin, our new lieutenant colonel of artillery, is coming to see us today.
Tuzenbakh sits down to the piano.
That's good, I'm glad.
Is he old?
Oh no, 40 or 45 at the very outside. He seems rather a good sort. He's certainly no fool, only he likes to hear himself speak.
Is he interesting?
Oh, he's all right, but there's his wife, his mother-in-law, and 2 daughters. This is his second wife. He pays calls and tells everybody that he's got a wife and 2 daughters. He'll tell you so here. The wife isn't all there. She does her hair like a flapper and gushes extremely. She talks philosophy and tries to commit suicide every now and again, apparently in order to annoy her husband. I should have left her long ago, but he bears up patiently and just grumbles.
Chebutykin, with one hand, I can only lift 54 pounds, but with both hands, I can lift 180 or even 200 pounds. From this, I conclude that 2 men are not twice as strong as one, but 3 times, perhaps even more.
If your hair is coming out, take an ounce of naphthalene and half a bottle of spirit, dissolve and use daily. Oh, well, when found, make a note of. Well, not that I want it, though. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Ivan Romanovich, dear Ivan Romanovich.
What does my own little girl want?
Ivan Romanovich, dear Ivan Romanovich. I feel as if I were sailing under the broad blue sky with great white birds around me. Why is that? Why?
What, my white bird?
When I woke up today and got up and dressed myself, I suddenly began to feel as if everything in this life was open to me and that I knew how I must live. Oh, dear Ivan Romanovich, I know everything. A man must work, toil in the sweat of his brow, whoever he may be, for that is the meaning and object of his life, his happiness, his enthusiasm. How fine it is to be a workman who gets up at daybreak and breaks stones in the street, or a shepherd, or a schoolmaster who teaches children, or an engine driver on the railway. My God, let alone a man, it's better to be an ox, or just a horse, so long as it can work, than a young woman who wakes up at 12 o'clock, has her coffee in bed, and then spends 2 hours dressing. Oh, it's awful. Sometimes, when it's hot, your thirst can be just as tiresome as my need for work. And if I don't get up early in future and work, Ivan Romanovich, then you may refuse me your friendship.
I'll refuse. I'll refuse.
Father used to make us get up at 7. Now Irina wakes up at 7 and lies and meditates about something till 9 at least. And she looks so serious.
You're so used to seeing me as a little girl that it seems queer to you when my face is serious. I'm 20.
How well I can understand that craving for work. Oh, God. I've never worked once in my life. I was born in Petersburg, a chilly, lazy place in a family which never knew what work or worry meant. I remember that when I used to come home from my regiment, a footman used to have to pull off my boots while I fidgeted, and my mother looked on in adoration and wondered why other people didn't see me in the same light. They shielded me from work, but only just in time. A new age is dawning. The people are marching on us all. A powerful, health-giving storm is gathering. It is drawing near. Soon it will be upon us, and it will drive away laziness, indifference, the prejudice against labor, and rotten dullness from our society. I shall work, and in 25 or 30 years, every man will have to work. Everyone.
I shan't work.
You don't matter.
Tuzenbakh, in 25 years' time, we shall all be dead, thank the Lord. In 2 or 3 years' time, apoplexy will carry you off, or else I'll blow out your brains, my pet.
It's quite true. I never have worked. After I came down from university, I never stirred a finger or opened a book. I just read the papers. Well, here we are. I've learned from the papers that there used to be one Dobrolobov, for instance. But what he wrote, I don't know. God only knows. Well, they're calling me downstairs. Someone's come to see me. I'll be back in a minute. Won't be long.
He's up to something.
Yes, he looked so pleased as he went out that I'm pretty certain he'll bring you a present in a moment.
How unpleasant.
Yes, it's awful. He's always doing silly things.
There stands a green oak by the sea, and a chain of bright gold is around it. A chain of bright gold is around it.
You're not very bright today, Masha. Where are you off to?
Home.
That's odd.
On a name day, too.
It doesn't matter. I'll come in the evening. Goodbye, dear. Masha, many happy returns, though I've said it before. In the old days when father was alive, every time we had a name day, 30 or 40 officers used to come. There was lots of noise and fun. And today there's only a man and a half, and it's as quiet as a desert. I'm off. I've got the hump today, and I'm not at all cheerful, so don't you mind me. We'll have a talk later on, but goodbye for the present, my dear. I'll go somewhere.
You are queer.
I understand you, Masha.
When a man talks philosophy, well, it is philosophy, or at any rate sophistry. But when a woman or two women talk philosophy, it's all my eye.
What do you mean by that, you very awful man?
Oh, nothing. You came down on me before I could say, help.
Olga, don't cry.
This way, my dear. Come in, your feet are clean. From the district council, Irina. From Mikhail Ivanich Protopopov. A cake.
Thank you. Please thank him.
Give him a pie, nurse.
What?
Oh.
What?
Please thank him.
Give him a pie, nurse. Ferapont, go. She'll give you a pie.
What?
Come on, grandfer. Ferapont Spiridonich. Come on.
I don't like this Mikhail Potapich or Ivanich Protopopov. We ought not to have invited him here.
I never asked him.
That's all right.
Enter Chebutykin, followed by a soldier with a silver samovar.
Samovar? How awful.
My dear Ivan Romanovich, what are you doing?
I told you so.
Ivan Romanovich, you are simply shameless.
My dear good girl, you are the only thing and the dearest thing I have in the world. I'll soon be 60. I'm an old man, a lonely, worthless old man. The only good thing to me is my love for you. Well, and if it hadn't been for that, I would have been dead a long time ago. Irina, my dear little girl, I've known you since the day of your birth. I've carried you in my arms. Oh, I loved your dead mother.
But your presents are so expensive.
Expensive presents. Oh, you really are. Oh, take the samovar in there. Expensive presents.
The orderly goes into the dining room with the samovar.
My dear, there's a strange colonel come. He's taken off his coat already. Children, he's coming here. Irina, darling, you'll be a nice and polite little girl, won't you? I should have lunched a long time ago. Oh, Lord.
It must be Vershinin. Lieutenant Colonel Vershinin.
I have the honor to introduce myself. My name is Vershinin. I am very glad indeed to be able to come at last. How you've grown. Oh,
Please sit down. We're very glad you've come.
I am glad, very glad. But there are 3 sisters. Surely, I remember. 3 little girls. I forget your faces, but your father, Colonel Prosorov, used to have 3 little girls. I remember that perfectly. I saw them with my own eyes. How time does fly. Oh dear, how it flies.
Alexander Ignatievich comes from Moscow.
From Moscow? Are you from Moscow?
Yes, that's so. Your father used to be in charge of a battery there, and I was an officer in the same brigade. I seem to remember your face a little.
I don't remember you.
Olga! Olga! Olga, come along. Lieutenant Colonel Vershinin comes from Moscow, as it happens.
I take it that you are Olga Sergeyevna, the eldest, and that you are Maria, and you are Irina, the youngest.
So you come from Moscow?
Yes, I went to school in Moscow and began my service there. I was there for a long time until at last I got my battery and moved over here, as you see. I don't really remember you. I only remember that there used to be 3 sisters. I remember your father well. I've only to shut my eyes to see him as he was. I used to come to your house in Moscow.
I used to think I remembered everybody, but...
My name is Alexander Ignatievich.
Alexander Ignatievich, you've come from Moscow. That is really quite a surprise.
We are going to live there, you see.
We think we may be there this autumn. It's our native town. We were born there, in Old Bashmani Road.
We've unexpectedly met a fellow countryman. I remember. Do you remember, Olga? They used to speak at home of a lovelorn major. You were only a lieutenant then and in love with somebody, but for some reason, they always called you a major for fun.
That's it, the lovelorn major, that's got it.
You only wore mustaches then. You've grown older. You have grown older.
Yes, when they used to call me the lovelorn major, I was young and in love. I've grown out of both now.
But you haven't a single white hair yet. You're older, but you're not yet old.
I'm 42 anyway. Have you been away from Moscow long?
11 years. What are you crying for, Masha? You little fool. And I'm crying too.
It's all right. And where did you live?
Old Basmani Road.
Same as we.
Once I used to live in German Street. That was when the Red Barracks were my headquarters. There's an ugly bridge in between where the water rushes underneath. One gets melancholy when one is alone there. Here, the river is so wide and fine. It's a splendid river.
Yes, but it's so cold. It's very cold here. And the midges. Oh.
What are you saying? Here you've got such a fine, healthy Russian climate. You've a forest, a river, and birches, dear, modest birches. I like them more than any other tree. It's good to live here. Only it's odd that the railway station should be 13 miles away. Nobody knows why.
I know why. Because if it was near, it wouldn't be far off. And if it's far off, it can't be near.
Funny man.
Now I know who you are. I remember.
I used to know your mother.
Oh, she was a good woman, rest her soul.
Mother is buried in Moscow.
At the Novodevichy Cemetery.
Do you know, I'm beginning to forget her face. We'll be forgotten in just the same way.
Yes, they'll forget us. It's our fate. It can't be helped. A time will come when everything that seems serious, significant, or very important to us will be forgotten and considered trivial. And the curious thing is that we can't possibly find out what will come to be regarded as great and important, and what will be feeble or silly. Didn't the discoveries of Copernicus or Columbus, say, seem unnecessary and ludicrous at first? Why, wasn't it thought that some rubbish written by a fool held all truth? And it may so happen that our present existence, which we are satisfied, will in time appear strange, inconvenient, stupid, unclean, perhaps even sinful.
Who knows? But on the other hand, they may call our life noble and honor its memory. We've abolished torture and capital punishment. We live in security, but how much suffering there is still.
There, Tuzenbakh. The Baron will go without his dinner if you only let him talk philosophy.
Vasily Vasilyevich, kindly leave me alone. You're very dull, you know.
There.
Vershinin, the sufferings we see today, there are so many of them, still indicate a certain moral improvement in society.
Yes, of course.
You just said now, Baron, that they may call our life noble. But we are very petty. Well, see how little I am?
That's Andrei playing, our brother.
He's a learned member of the family. I expect he'll be a professor someday. Father was a soldier, but his son chose an academic career for himself.
That was Father's wish.
We ragged him today. We think he's a little in love.
To a local lady. She will probably come here today.
You should see the way she dresses. Quite prettily, quite fashionably too, but so badly. Some queer, bright yellow skirt with a wretched little fringe and a red bodice, and such a complexion. Andrei isn't in love. After all, he has taste. He's simply making fun of us. I heard yesterday that she was going to marry Protopopov, the chairman of the local council. That would do her nicely. Andrei, come here. Just for a moment, dear.
My brother, Andrei Sergeyevich.
My name is Vershinin.
Mine is Prozorov. You've come to take charge of the battery?
Just think Alexander Ignatievich comes from Moscow.
That's all right. Now, my little sisters won't give you any rest.
I've already managed to bore your sisters.
Just look what a nice little photograph frame Andrei gave me today. He made it himself.
Yes, it's a thing that's...
And he made that frame there on the piano as well.
He's got a degree and plays the violin and cuts all sorts of things out of wood and is really domestic. Don't go away, Andrei. He's got into a habit of always going away. Come here.
Come on.
Please, leave me alone.
You're funny. Alexander Ignatievich used to be called the Lovelorn Major, but he never minded.
Not the least.
I'd like to call you the Lovelorn Fiddler.
Or the Lovelorn Professor.
He's in love. Little Andrei is in love.
Oh, nature only brought us into the world that we should love.
Andrei is in love.
That's enough. Quite enough. Look, I couldn't sleep all night, and now I can't quite find my feet, so to speak. I read until 4 o'clock and tried to sleep, but nothing happened. I thought about one thing and then another, and then it dawned and the sun crawled into my bed. This summer, while I'm here, I want to translate a book from the English.
Do you read English?
Yes. Father, rest his soul, educated us almost violently. It may seem funny and silly, but it's nevertheless true that after his death, I began to feel out and get a little rounder, as if my body had some great pressure taken off it. Thanks to Father, my sister and I know French, German, and English. And Irina knows Italian as well. But we pay dearly for it all.
A knowledge of 3 languages is an unnecessary luxury in this town. It isn't even a luxury, but a sort of useless extra, like a 6th finger. We know a lot too much.
Well, I say, you know a lot too much. I don't think there can really be a town so dull and stupid as to have no place for a clever, cultured person. Let us suppose that even among the 100,000 inhabitants of this backward and uneducated town, there are only 3 persons like yourselves. It stands to reason that you won't be able to conquer the dark mob around you. Little by little, as you grow older, you shall be bound to give way and lose yourself in this crowd of 100,000 human beings. Their life will suck you up into it, but still, you won't disappear having influenced nobody. Later on, others like you will come, perhaps 6 of them, then 12, and so on, until at last your sort will be in the majority. In 200 or 300 years' time, life on this earth will be unimaginably beautiful and wonderful. Mankind needs such a life, and if it is not ours today, then we must look ahead for it. Wait, think, prepare for it. We must see and know more than our fathers and grandfathers saw in you. And you complain that you know too much.
I'll stay to lunch.
Yes, all that ought to be written down.
You say that many years later on, life on this earth will be beautiful and wonderful. That's true, but to share in it now, even though at a distance, we must prepare by work.
Yes. What a lot of flowers you have. It's a beautiful flat. I envy you. I spent my whole life in rooms with 2 chairs, 1 sofa, and fires which always smoke. I've never had flowers like these in my life. Well, well.
Yes, we must work. You are probably thinking to yourself, the German lets himself go. But I assure you, I am a Russian. I can't even speak German. My father belonged to the Orthodox Church.
I wonder, suppose we could begin life over again, knowing what we were doing. Suppose we could use one life already ended as a sort of rough draft for another. I think that every one of us would try more than anything else not to repeat himself. So at the very least, he would arrange his manner of life. He would make sure of rooms like these with flowers and light. I have a wife and 2 daughters. My wife's health is delicate, and so on and so on. And if I had to begin life all over again, I would not marry. No, no.
Dear sister Irina, allow me to congratulate you on the day sacred to your good angel, and to wish you sincerely and from the bottom of my heart good health and all that one can wish for a girl of your years. And let me offer you this book as a present. It is a history of our high school during the last 50 years, written by myself. The book is worthless, and written because I had nothing to do, but read it all the same. Good day, gentlemen. My name is Kulygin. I am a master of the local high school. In this book, you will find a list of all those who have taken the full course of our high school during those 50 years. Feci quod putui faciant meliore potentes.
But you gave me one of these at Easter.
I couldn't have, surely. You'd better give it back to me in that case, or else give it to the colonel. Take it, Colonel. You'll read it someday when you're bored.
Thank you. I'm extremely happy to have made the acquaintance of...
Oh, must you go? No, not yet.
You'll stop and have lunch with us, please do.
Yes, please.
I seem to have dropped in on your name day. Forgive me, I didn't know and didn't offer you my congratulations.
Today is Sunday, the day of rest. So let us rest and rejoice, each in a manner compatible with his age and disposition. The carpets will have to be taken up for the summer and put away till the winter. Persian powder or naphthalene. The Romans were healthy because they knew both how to work and how to rest. They had mens sana and corpore sano. Their life ran along certain recognized patterns. Our director says the chief thing about each life is its pattern. Whoever loses his pattern has lost himself. It's just the same in our daily life. Masha loves me. My wife loves me. And we ought to put the window curtains away with the carpets. I'm feeling awfully pleased with life today, Masha. We've got to be at the director's at 4. They're getting up a walk for the pedagogues and their families.
I shan't go.
My dear Masha, why not?
Tell you later. All right, I'll go. Only please stand back.
And then we're to spend the evening at the director's. In spite of his ill health, that man tries above everything else to be sociable. A splendid, illuminating personality. A wonderful man. After yesterday's committee, he said to me, "I'm tired, Fyodor Ilyich. I'm tired." Oh, your clock is 7 minutes fast. Yes, I'm tired.
Let's all go have lunch. There's to be a masterpiece of baking.
Oh, my dear Olga, my dear. Yesterday I was working till 11 o'clock at night. I am awfully tired. Today I'm quite happy. My dear.
A pie! Splendid!
Only mind you're not to drink anything today. Do you hear? It's bad for you.
Oh, that's all right. I haven't been drunk for 2 years. And it's all the same anyway.
You're not to dare to drink all the same. Another dull evening at the director's. Confound it.
I shouldn't go if I were you. It's quite simple.
Don't go.
Yes, don't go. It's a cursed, unbearable life.
Well, it's not so bad.
There, Tuzenbakh.
Vasily Vasilyevich, that's enough. Be quiet.
There.
Sorry. Your health, Colonel? I'm terribly sorry to miss a chance for a toast like that. I'm a pedagogue and not quite at home here. I'm Masha's husband. She's a good sort. A very good sort.
I'll have some of this black vodka. Your health. I'm very comfortable here.
Masha's out of sorts today. She's married when she was 18, when he seemed to her the wisest of men. And now it's different. He's the kindest man, but not the wisest.
Andrei, when are you coming?
1 minute.
What are you thinking about?
I don't like this Solyony of yours. I'm afraid of him. He only says silly things.
He's a queer man. I'm sorry for him, though he vexes me. I think he's shy. When there are just the two of us, he's quite all right and very good company. When other people are about, he's rough and hectoring. Don't let's go in. Let them have their meal without us. Let me stay with you. What are you thinking of? You're 20. I'm not yet 30. How many years are there left to us with their long, long lines of days filled with my love for you?
Nikolai Lvovich, don't speak to me of love.
I have a great thirst for life, struggle, and work. And this thirst has united with my love for you, Irina. And you're so beautiful. And life seems so beautiful to me. What are you thinking about?
You say that life is beautiful. Yes, if only it seems so. The life of us three hasn't been beautiful yet, has been stifling us as if it was weeds. I'm crying. I oughtn't. We must work. Work. That is why we are unhappy and look at the world so sadly. We don't know what work is. Our parents despised work.
We're already at lunch. I'm late. Oh, I think my hair's done all right. Oh, dear Irina Sergeyevna, I congratulate you. So many visitors. I'm really ashamed. How do you do, Baron?
Here's Natalia Ivanovna. How are you, dear?
Happily returns. I'm awfully shy. You have so many people here.
All our friends? Oh, you're wearing a green sash. My dear, you shouldn't.
Is it a sign of anything?
No, it simply doesn't go well, and it looks so queer.
Yes, but it isn't really green. It's too dull for that.
They have all sat down to lunch in the dining room.
Wish you had a nice fiance, Irina. It's quite time you married.
Natalia Ivanovna, let me wish you the same.
Natalia Ivanovna has a fiance already.
Let's all get drunk and make life purple for once.
You've lost 3 good conduct marks.
This is a nice drink. What is it made of?
Black beetles.
Oh, phew, that's disgusting.
There is to be a roast turkey and a sweet apple pie for dinner. Thank goodness I can spend all day in the evening at home. You'll come in the evening, ladies and gentlemen.
And please, may I come in the evening?
Please do.
They don't stand on ceremony here.
Nature only brought us into the world that we should love.
Please don't. Aren't you tired of it?
Enter Fedotik and Rode with a large basket of flowers.
Are they lunching already?
Oh.
Oh, they are.
Oh, wait a minute.
Takes a photograph.
There's one. Ha.
Takes another.
There's 2. Now we're ready.
Take the basket and go into the dining room where they have a noisy reception.
Congratulations, best wishes. A lovely weather today, simply perfect. Hanging out with the high school students all morning. I take their drills.
You may move, Irina Sergeyevna. Oh.
Takes another photograph.
Oh, here's a humming top, by the way. It's got a lovely note.
How awfully nice.
There stands a green oak by the sea, and a chain of bright gold is around it, and a chain of bright gold is around it. What am I saying that for? I've had those words running in my head all day.
There are 13 at the table.
Surely you don't believe in that superstition.
There are 13 at table. That means there are lovers present. It isn't you, Ivan Romanovich. Hang it all.
I'm a hardened sinner, but I really don't see why Natalia Ivanovna should blush.
Natasha runs out into the sitting room, followed by Andrei.
Don't pay attention to them. Wait. Do stop, please.
I'm shy. I don't know what's the matter with me, and they're all laughing at me. It wasn't nice of me to leave the table like that, but I can't. I can't.
My dear, I beg you. I implore you not to excite yourself. I assure you, they're only joking. They're kind people. My dear good girl, they're all kind and sincere people, and they like both you and me. Come here to the window. Look, they can't see us.
I'm so unaccustomed to meeting people.
Oh, your youth. You're a splendid, beautiful youth. My darling, don't be so excited. Believe me, I'm so happy. My soul is full of love, of ecstasy. They don't see us. They can't. Why, or when did I fall in love with you? Oh, I can't understand anything. My dear, my pure darling. Be my wife. I love you, as never before.
They kiss.
Act 2, scene as before. It is 8.
Спи, младенец, мой прекрасный, баюшки, баю.
Andrei, are you reading? It's nothing, only Isn't there any fire?
What are you doing, Natasha?
I was looking to see if there wasn't a fire. It's Shrovetide and the servant is simply beside herself. I must look out that something doesn't happen. When I came through the dining room yesterday midnight, there was a candle burning. I couldn't get her to tell me who had lighted it. What's the time?
8:15.
Olga and Irina aren't in yet. The poor things are still at work. Olga at the teacher's council, Irina at the telegraph office. I said to your sister this morning, Irina, darling, you must take care of yourself, but she pays no attention. Did you say it was 8:15? I'm afraid little Bobek is quite ill. Why is he so cold? He was feverish yesterday, but today he is quite cold. I'm so frightened.
It's all right, Natasha. The boy's well.
Still, I think we ought to put him on a diet. I'm so afraid. And the entertainers were to be here after 9. They'd better not come, Andrei.
I don't know. After all, they were asked.
This morning, when the little boy woke up and saw me, he suddenly smiled. That means he knew me. Good morning, Bobek. I said, good morning, darling, and he laughed. Children understand. They understand very well, so I'll tell them, Andrei, dear, not to receive the entertainers.
But what about my sisters? I mean, this is their flat.
They'll do as I want. They are so kind. I ordered sour milk for supper. The doctor says you must eat sour milk and nothing else or you won't get thin. Oh, Bobek is so cold. I'm afraid his room is too cold for him. It would be nice to put him into another room till the warm weather comes. Irina's room, for instance, is just right for a child. It's dry and it has the sun all day. I must tell her. She can share Olga's room. It isn't as if she was at home in the daytime. She only sleeps here. Andrei, darling, why are you so silent?
I was just thinking. Well, there's really nothing to say.
Yes, there was something I wanted to tell you. Oh, yes, Ferapont has come from the council offices. He wants to see you.
Call him here. Good morning, grandfather. What have you to say?
The chairman sends a book and some papers. Here.
Thank you. I mean, it's all right. Now, why couldn't you have come earlier? It's past 8 now.
What?
I said you've come late. It's past 8.
Oh, yes. I came when it was still light, but they wouldn't let me in. They said you were busy. Well, what was I to do? If you're busy, you're busy. And I'm in a hurry. I'm in no hurry. What?
Nothing. Look, tomorrow's Friday. Now, I'm not supposed to go to work, but I'll come all the same and do some work. I mean, it's dull at home. Oh, my dear old man, how strangely life changes and how it deceives. You know, today out of sheer boredom, I took up this book, Old University Lectures, and I couldn't help laughing. My God, I'm secretary of the local district council, the council which has protopopar for its chairman. Yes, I'm the secretary. And the summit of my ambitions is to become a member of the council. To be a member of the local district council. Who dream every night that I'm a professor of Moscow University, a famous scholar of whom all Russia is proud.
I can't tell. I'm hard of hearing.
If you weren't, I don't suppose I should talk to you. But I've got to talk to somebody, and my wife doesn't understand me. And I'm a bit afraid of my sisters. I don't know why, unless it is that they make fun of me, make me feel ashamed. I don't drink, and I don't like public houses. But how I should like to be sitting just now in Testov's place in Moscow, or at the great Moscow, old fellow.
Moscow? Oh, that's where a contractor was once telling that some merchants or other were eating pancakes. One ate 40 pancakes and he went and died. He was saying either 40 or 50, I forget which.
In Moscow, you can sit in an enormous restaurant where you don't know anybody and where nobody knows you. You don't feel all the same that you're a stranger. In here, you know everybody and everybody knows you, and you're a stranger, a lonely stranger.
What? Oh, and the same contractor was telling, perhaps he was lying, but there was a cable stretching right across Moscow.
What for?
I can't tell. The contractor said so.
Rubbish. Were you even in Moscow?
No, God did not lead me there. Shall I go?
You may go. Goodbye. Goodbye. You can come tomorrow and fetch these documents. So go along. He's gone. Yes? Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. Of course, habit counts for a great deal, but after father's death, for instance, it took us a long time to get used to the absence of orderlies. But apart from habit, it seems to me, in all fairness, that however it may be in other towns, the best and most educated people are army men.
I'm thirsty. I should like some tea.
They'll bring some soon. I was given in marriage when I was 18, and I was afraid of my husband because he was a teacher and I'd only just left school. He then seemed to me so frightfully wise and learned and important. And now, unfortunately, that has changed.
Yes, yes.
I don't speak of my husband. I've grown used to him. But civilians in general are so often coarse, impolite, uneducated. Their rudeness offends me. It angers me. I suffer when I see that a man isn't quite sufficiently refined or delicate or polite. I simply suffer agonies when I happen to be among schoolmasters, my husband's colleagues.
Yes. It seems to me that civilians and army men are equally interesting. In this town, at any rate. It's all the same. If you listen to a member of the local intelligentsia, whether to civilian or military, he will tell you that he is sick of his wife, sick of his house, sick of his estate, sick of his horses. We Russians are extremely gifted in the direction of thinking on an exalted plane. But tell me, why do we aim so low in real life? Why?
Why?
Why is a Russian sick of his children, sick of his wife? And why are his wife and children sick of him?
You're a little downhearted today.
Perhaps I am. I haven't had any dinner. I've had nothing since the morning. My daughter is a little unwell, and when my girls are ill, I get very anxious. And my conscience tortures me because they have such a mother. Oh, if you had seen her today, what a trivial personality. We began quarreling at 7 in the morning, and at 9 I slammed the door and went out. I never speak of her. It's strange that I bear my complaints to you alone.
Vershinin kisses Masha's hand.
Don't be angry with me. I haven't anybody but you. Nobody at all.
What a noise in the oven! Right before Father's death, there was a noise in the pipe, just like that.
Are you superstitious?
Yes.
Oh, that's strange.
Again, he kisses her hand.
You are a splendid, wonderful woman. Splendid, wonderful. It is dark in here, but I see your sparkling eyes.
There's more light here.
Oh, I love you, love you, love you. I love your eyes, your movements. I dream of them. Splendid, wonderful woman.
When you talk to me like that, I laugh. I don't know why. For I'm afraid. Don't repeat it, please. No, go on. It's all the same to me. Somebody's coming. Let's talk about something else.
My surname is really triple. I am called Baron Tuzenbakh Altshower, but I am Russian and Orthodox, the same as you. There is very little German left in me, unless perhaps it is the patience and the obstinacy with which I bore you. I see you home every night.
Oh, how tired I am.
And I'll come to the telegraph office to see you home every day for 10 or 20 years until you drive me away. Masha? Vershinin? Is that you? How do you do?
Oh, well, I am home at last. Masha, a lady came today to telegraph to her brother in Saratov that her son died today, and she couldn't remember the address anyhow. So she sent the telegram without an address, just a Saratov. She was crying, and for some reason or other, I was rude to her. I've no time, I said. It was so stupid. Are the entertainers coming tonight?
Yes.
I want to rest. I am tired.
When you come home from your work, you seem so young and so unfortunate.
I am tired. No, I don't like the telegraph office. I don't like it.
You've grown thinner. And you look younger, and your face has become like a boy's.
That's the way she does her hair.
I must find another job. This one won't do for me. What I wanted, what I hoped to get, just that is lacking here. Labor without poetry, without ideas. The doctor is knocking. Will you knock, dear? I can't. I'm tired. He'll come in a minute. Something ought to be done. Yesterday, the doctor and Andrei played cards at the club and lost money. Andrei seems to have lost 200 rubles.
What can we do now?
He lost money a fortnight ago. He lost money in December. Perhaps if he lost everything, we should go away from this town. Oh my God, I dream of Moscow every night. I'm just like a lunatic. We go there in June, and before June, there's still February, March, April, May, nearly half a year.
Only Natasha mustn't get to know of these losses.
I expect it will be all the same to her.
Here is Chebutykin. Has he paid his rent?
No, he's been here 8 months and hasn't paid a kopeck. Seems to have forgotten.
What dignity in his pose.
Why are you so silent, Alexander Ignatievich?
I don't know. I want some tea. Half my life for a tumbler of tea. I haven't had anything since morning.
Irina Sergeyevna.
What is it?
Well, please, come here. Vene ici. I can't do without you.
Irina begins to play solitaire.
Well, if we can't have any tea, let's philosophize at any rate.
Yes, let's. About what?
About what? Let us meditate about life as it will be after our time. For example, in 200 or 300 years.
Well, after our time, people will fly about in balloons. The cut of one's coat will change. Perhaps they'll discover a sixth sense and develop it. But life will remain the same, laborious, mysterious, and happy. And in 1,000 years' time, people will still be saying, life is hard. And at the same time, they'll be just as afraid of death and unwilling to meet it as we are.
How can I put it? It seems to me that everything on earth must change little by little, and is already changing under our very eyes. After 200 or 300 years, after 1,000, the actual time doesn't matter. A new, happy age will begin. We, of course, shall not take part in it, but we live and work and even suffer today that it should come. We create it, and in that one object is our destiny, and, if you like, our happiness.
What is it?
I don't know. I've been laughing all day, ever since morning.
I finished my education at the same point as you. I've not studied at universities. I've read a lot, but I cannot choose my books, and perhaps what I read is not at all what I should. But the longer I love, the more I want to know. My hair is turning white. I am nearly an old man now, but I know so little, oh, so little. But I think I know the things that matters most and that are most real. I know them well, and I wish I could make you understand that there is no happiness for us, that there should not and cannot be. We must only work, and happiness is only for our distant posterity. If not for me, then for the descendants of my descendants.
Well, according to you, one should not even think about happiness. But suppose I am happy.
No.
We do not seem to understand each other. How can I convince you? Yes, laugh. Vershinin, not only after 2 or 3 centuries, but in 1,000,000 years, life will still be as it was. Life does not change. It remains forever, following its own laws, which do not concern us, or which, at any rate, you will never find out. Migrant birds, cranes, for example, fly, and whatever thoughts, high or low, enter their heads, they will still fly and not know why or where. They fly and will continue to fly. Whatever philosophers come to life among them, they may philosophize as much as they like, only they will fly.
Still, is there a meaning?
A meaning? Now the snow is falling. What meaning?
It seems to me that a man must have faith, or must search for a faith, or his life will be empty. Empty. To live and not to know why the cranes fly, why babies are born, why there's stars in the sky. Either you must know why you live, or everything is trivial, not worth the straw.
Still, I am sorry that my youth has gone.
Gogol says, life in this world is a dull matter, my masters.
And I say it's difficult to argue with you, my masters. Hang it all.
Balzac was married at Bachida. Well, that's worth making a note of. Balzac was married at Berdichev.
Balzac was married at Berdichev.
The die is cast. I've handed in my resignation, Maria Sergeyevna.
So I heard. I don't see what good it is. I don't like civilians.
Oh, never mind. I'm not handsome. What use am I as a soldier? Well, it makes no difference. I shall work. If only just like once in my life I could work so that I could come home in the evening, fall exhausted on my bed, and go to sleep at once. Workmen, I suppose, do sleep soundly.
Irina Sergeyevna, I bought some colored pencils for you at Pishikov's in the Moscow Road just now. Oh, and here is a little knife.
You have got into the habit of behaving to me as if I'm a little girl, but I'm a grown-up. How lovely.
And I bought myself a knife. Oh, look at it. There's one blade and another, a third. Oh, an ear scoop and scissors and nail cleaners.
Ooh.
How old are you?
I? 32.
I'll show you another kind of patience.
Fedotik lays out cards.
What a wind.
Yes, I'm tired of winter. I've already forgotten what summer's like.
That I see. We're going to Moscow.
Nope, it won't come out. Look, the 8 was on the 2 of spades. That means you won't go to Moscow.
Cigar. Smallpox is raging there.
Masha, have some tea, little mother. Please have some, sir. Excuse me, but I've forgotten your name.
Bring some here, nurse. I shan't go over there.
Nurse?
Coming.
Solyony, children at the breast understand perfectly. I said, "Good morning, Bobik. Good morning, dear." And he looked at me in quite an unusual way. You think it's only the mother and me that's speaking. I assure you that it isn't so. He's a wonderful child.
If he was my child, I'd roast him on a frying pan and eat him.
Vulgar, ill-bred man.
He's lucky who doesn't notice whether it's winter now or summer. I think that if I were in Moscow, I shouldn't mind about the weather.
A few days ago, I was reading the prison diary of a French minister. He had been sentenced on account of the Panama scandal. With what joy, what delight he speaks of the birds he saw through the prison windows, which he had never noticed while he was a minister. Now, of course, that he is at liberty, he notices the birds no more than he did before. When you go to live in Moscow, you will not notice it in just the same way. There can be no happiness for us. It only exists in our wishes.
Where are the pastries?
Solyony has eaten them.
All of them?
There's a letter for you.
For me? From my daughter.
Vershinin reads the letter.
Yes, of course. I will go quietly. Excuse me, Maria Sergeyevna. I shan't have any tea. That eternal story.
What is it? Is it a secret?
My wife has poisoned herself again. I must go. I'll go out quietly. It's all awfully unpleasant. My dear, my splendid good woman, I'll go this way, quietly.
Where is he gone? And I served tea. man.
Be quiet! You bother so one can't have a moment's peace. I'm tired of you, old woman.
My dear, why are you offended?
Anfisa,
Anfisa, he sits there and...
Let me sit down.
Masha disturbs the cards on the table.
Here you are, spreading your cards out. Have some tea.
You are cross, Masha.
I am cross and don't talk to me. Don't touch me.
Don't touch her. Don't touch her.
You're 60, but you're like a boy, always up to some beastly nonsense.
Dear Masha, why use such expressions? With your beautiful exterior, you would be simply fascinating in good society, I tell you so directly, if it wasn't for your words. Je vous prie, pardonnez-moi, Marie, mais vous avez des manières un peu grossières.
Give me, there's some cognac, I think.
Il paraît que mon Bobic déjà ne dort pas. He has awakened. He isn't well today. I'll go to him. Excuse me.
Where has Alexander Ignatievich gone?
Home. Something extraordinary has happened to his wife again.
You go on sitting by yourself, thinking of something. Goodness knows what. Come and let's make peace. Let's have some cognac. I expect I'll have to play the piano all night. Some rubbish, most likely. Well, so be it.
Why make peace? I haven't quarreled with you.
Oh, you always make me feel as if something has taken place between us. You've a strange character, you must admit.
I am strange, but who is not? Don't be angry, Aleko.
And what has Aleko to do with it?
When I'm with one other man, I behave just like everybody else. But in company, I'm dull and shy and talk all manner of rubbish. But I'm more honest and more honorable than very, very many people, and I can prove it.
I don't think get angry with you. You always fasten on to me in company, but I like you all the same. I'm going to drink my fill tonight. Whatever happens. Drink now.
Let's drink. I never had anything against you, Baron, but my character is like Lermontov's. I even rather resemble Lermontov, they say.
I sent in my resignation. Basta. I've been thinking about it for 5 years, and at last I've made up my mind. I shall work.
Do not be angry, Aleko. Forget thy dreams of yore.
I shall work.
And the food was also real Caucasian onion soup. And for a roast, some chahartma.
Cheremsha isn't meat at all, but a plant, something like an onion.
No, my angel, chahartma isn't onion, but roast mutton.
And I tell you, shahartma is a sort of onion.
And I tell you, chahartma is mutton.
And I tell you, Cheremsha is a sort of onion.
What's the use of arguing? You've never been in the Caucasus and never ate any chahartma.
I never ate it because I hate it. It smells like garlic.
Please, I asked you.
When are the entertainers coming?
They promised for about 9. That is quite soon.
Oh, my house. My new build house.
It's newly built of maple wood.
Its walls are like a sieve.
Hang it all. Let's drink. Andrei, old boy, let's drink with you. And I'll go with you, Andrei, to the University of Moscow.
Which one? There are 2 universities in Moscow.
There's one university in Moscow.
2, I tell you.
Don't care if there are 3. So much the better.
There are 2 universities in Moscow. There are 2 universities in Moscow. The old one and the new one. And if you don't like to listen, if my words annoy you, then I need not speak. I can even go into another room. Ugh.
Bravo, bravo. Come on now. I'm going to play Funny Man, Solyony.
The Baron's drunk, the Baron's drunk, the Baron's drunk.
Ivan Romanovich!
Natasha says something to Chebutykin, then goes out quietly. Chebutykin Tuzenbakh on the shoulder and whispers something to him.
What is it?
Well, it's time for us to go. Goodbye.
Good night. It's time we went.
But really, the entertainers?
There won't be any entertainers. You see, dear Natasha says that Bobik isn't quite well. And so, but in a word, I don't care. And it's absolutely all one to me.
Bobik ill.
What is she thinking of? Well, if they're sent home, I suppose they must go. Irina, Bobik's all right. It's she herself here, the little bourgeoise.
Oh, what a shame. I was expecting to spend the evening here, but of course, if the little baby is ill, I'll bring him some toys tomorrow.
And I slept late after dinner today because I thought I was going to dance all night. It's only 9 o'clock now.
Let's go into the street. We can talk there. Then we can settle things.
Hey!
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, good night.
Farewell.
Farewell.
I never managed to get married, but because my life flashed by me like lightning, and because I was badly in love with your mother, who was married.
One shouldn't marry. One shouldn't because it's dull.
So there I am in my loneliness. Well, say what you will. Loneliness is a terrible thing, old fellow. No, really, of course, it absolutely doesn't matter.
Let's be quicker.
What are you in such a hurry for? We shall be in time.
But I'm afraid my wife may stop me.
Ah.
But I shan't play tonight. I shall only sit and look on. I don't feel very well. What am I to do for my asthma, Ivan Romanovich?
Don't ask me. I don't remember, old fellow. I don't know. Well,
hey, let's go through the kitchen.
Yeah.
The entertainers.
Tell them there's nobody at home, nurse. They must excuse us.
There's nobody here. Where are they all?
They've gone home.
How strange. Are you here alone?
Yes, alone. Goodbye.
Just now, I behaved tactlessly with insufficient reserve. But you are not like all the others. You are noble and pure. You can see the truth. You alone can understand me. I love you deeply, beyond measure. I love you.
Goodbye. Go away.
I cannot live without you. Oh, my happiness. Oh, joy. Wonderful, marvelous, glorious eyes, such eyes I have never seen before.
Stop it, Vasily Vasilyevich.
This is the first time I speak to you of love, and it is as if I am no longer on the earth, but on another planet. Well, never mind. I can't make you love me by force, of course, but I don't intend to have any more favored rivals. No, I swear to you by all the saints, I shall kill my rival. beautiful one.
Natasha enters with a candle. She looks through one door, then another, and goes past the door leading to her husband's room.
Here's Andrei. Let him go on reading. Excuse me, Vasily Vasilovich, I did not know you were here. I'm engaged in domesticities.
It's all the same to me. Goodbye.
You are so tired, my poor dear girl. If only you went to bed earlier.
Is Bobik asleep?
Yes, but restlessly. By the way, dear, I wanted to tell you, but either you weren't at home or I was busy. I think Bobik's present nursery is cold and damp, and your room would be so nice for a child. My dear darling girl, do change over to Olga's for a bit.
Where?
You and Olga can share a room for the time being, and Bobik can have yours. He's such a darling. Today I said to him, Bobik, you're mine, mine. And he looked at me with his dear little eyes. It must be Olga. How late she is.
The maid enters and whispers to Natasha.
Protopopov? What a queer man to do such a thing. Protopopov's come and wants to take me for a drive with him in his troika. How funny these men are. Somebody has come. Suppose I did go and have half an hour's drive. Say I shan't be long. Somebody's ringing. It must be Olga.
There you are. And you said there was going to be a party.
It's queer. I went away not long ago, half an hour ago, and they were expecting entertainers.
They've all gone.
Has Masha gone too? Where has she gone? And what's Protopopov waiting for downstairs in his troika? Whom is he expecting?
Don't ask questions. I'm
Oh.
tired.
They're all whimsies.
My committee meeting is only just over. I'm tired out. Our chairwoman is ill, so I had to take her place. Oh, my head is aching. Andrei lost 200 rubles at cards yesterday. The whole town is talking about it.
Yes, my meeting tired me too.
My wife took it into her head to frighten me just now by nearly poisoning herself. It's all right now, and I'm glad. I can rest now. But perhaps we ought to go away. Well, my best wishes, Fedor Ilyich. Let's go somewhere together. I absolutely can't stop at home. Come on.
Oh, I'm tired. I won't go. I'm tired. Has my wife gone home?
I suppose so.
Well, goodbye. I'm going to rest all day tomorrow and the day after. Best wishes. I should like some tea. I was looking forward to spending the whole evening in pleasant company and... Oh, phallicum hominum spem. Accusative case after injection.
Then I'll go somewhere by myself.
I have such a headache. Andrei has been losing money. The whole town is talking. I'll go and lie down. I'm free tomorrow. Oh my God, what a mercy. I'm free tomorrow. I'm free the day after that. My head.
They've all gone. Nobody's left.
A concertina is being played in the street.
I'll be back in half an hour. I'm only going for a little drive.
To Moscow, Moscow, Moscow.
Act 3. The room shared by Olga and Irina. It is past 2 a.m. A fire alarm is ringing. It has apparently been going for some time.
Now they are downstairs, sitting under the stairs. I said to them, "Won't you come up?" I said. "You can't go on like this." And they simply cried, "We don't know where father is." They said, "He may be burnt up by now." Oh, What an idea. And in the yard, there are some people also undressed.
Oh, take this dress. Yes, and this, and the blouse as well. Take the skirt too, nurse. Oh my God, how awful it is. The whole of Kirsanovsky Road seems to have burned down. Oh, take this and this. Oh, the poor Vershinins are so frightened. Their house was nearly burnt. They ought to have come here for the night. They shouldn't be allowed to go home. Poor Fedotik is completely burned out. There's nothing left.
Couldn't you call Ferapont? Olga, dear, I can hardly manage.
Oh, they'll never answer. Come here, whoever is there.
A fire engine is heard passing the house.
Oh, how awful this is, and how I'm sick of it. Here, take these things down. The Kulygin girls are down below, and let them have them. Here, this too.
Yes, in the year 12, Moscow was burning too. Oh my God, the Frenchmen were surprised.
Go on, go on.
Yes,
Nurse dear, let them have everything. We don't want anything. Give it all to them, nurse. I'm tired. I can hardly keep on my legs. The Vershinins mustn't be allowed to go home. The girls can sleep in the drawing room, and Alexander Ignatyevich can go downstairs to the Baron's flat. Fedotik can go there too, or else into our dining room. The doctor is drunk, beastly drunk, as if on purpose, so nobody can go to him. Vershinin's wife, too, may go into the drawing room.
Olga, dear girl, don't dismiss me. Don't dismiss me.
You're talking nonsense, nurse. Nobody is dismissing you.
Oh, my dear precious girl, I'm working, I'm toiling away. I'm growing weak, and they'll all say, go away. And where shall I go? Where? I'm 81 years old.
Oh, you sit down, nurse dear. You're tired, poor dear.
Oh,
rest, dear. You're so pale.
Well, they're saying that a committee to assist the sufferers from the fire must be formed at once. What do you think of that? That's a beautiful idea. Of course the poor ought to be helped. It's the duty of the rich. Bobik and little Sophie are sleeping as if nothing at all was the matter. There's such a lot of people here. The place is full of them wherever you go. There's influenza in the town. I'm afraid the children may catch it.
In this room, we can't see the fire. It's quiet here.
Yes. I suppose I'm all untidy. Oh, they say that I'm growing stout. It isn't true. Certainly it isn't. Masha's asleep. The poor thing is tired out. Anfisa, don't dare to be seated in my presence. Get up, out of this. I don't understand what makes you keep on that old woman.
Excuse me, I don't understand either.
Well, she's no good here. She comes from the country. She ought to live there. Spoiling her, I like to call it. Well, I like order in the house. We don't want any unnecessary people here. Oh, you're tired, poor thing. Our headmistress is tired. And when my little Sophie grows up and goes to school, I shall be so afraid of you.
I shan't be headmistress.
Oh, they'll appoint you, Olga. It's settled.
I'll refuse the post. I can't. I'm not strong enough. You were so rude to nurse just now. I'm sorry. I can't stand it. Everything seems dark in front of me.
Oh, forgive me, Olga. Forgive me. I didn't want to annoy you.
Remember, dear, we have been brought up in an unusual way, perhaps, but I can't bear this. Such behavior has a bad effect on me. I get ill. I simply lose heart.
Forgive me. Forgive me.
Even the least bit of rudeness, the slightest impoliteness upsets me.
I often say too much, it's true. But you must agree, dear, that she could just as well live in the country.
She has been with us for 30 years.
But she can't do any work now. Either I don't understand, or you don't want to understand me. She's no good for work. She can only sleep or sit about.
And let her sit about.
What do you mean? She is only a servant. I don't understand you, Olga. I've got a nurse, a wet nurse, we've a cook, a housemaid. What do we want that old woman for? What good is she?
The fire alarm sounds.
I've grown 10 years older tonight.
We must come to an agreement, Olga. Your place is the school, mine the home. You devote yourself to teaching, I to the household. And if I talk about servants, then I do know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. And tomorrow, there's to be no more of that old thief, that old hag, that witch. And don't you dare to annoy me. Don't you dare. Really, if you don't move downstairs, we shall always be quarreling. This is awful.
Where's Masha? It's time we went home. The fire seems to be going down. Only one block is burnt down. But there was such a wind that it seemed at first the whole town was going to burn. I'm tired out. My dear Olga, I often think that if it hadn't been for Masha, I should have married you. You're awfully nice. I'm absolutely tired out.
What is it?
The doctor, of course, has been drinking hard. He's terribly drunk. He might have done it on purpose. He seems to be coming here. Do you hear him? Yes, here. What a man. Really, I'll hide myself.
Kulygin goes to the cupboard and stands in the corner.
He hadn't touched a drop for 2 years, and now he suddenly goes and gets drunk.
Olga retires with Natasha to the back of the room. Chebutykin enters, apparently sober. He stops, looks around, then goes to the washstand and begins to wash his hands.
Devil take them all! Take them all! They think I'm a doctor and can cure everything, and I know absolutely nothing. I've forgotten all I ever knew. I remember nothing, absolutely nothing. Oh, God. Oh, devil take it. Last Wednesday, I attended a woman in Zasip, and she died, and it's my fault that she died. Yes. Oh, I used to know a certain amount 25 years ago, but I don't remember anything now. Nothing. Oh, perhaps I'm not really a man, and I'm only pretending. That I've got arms and legs and a head. Perhaps I don't exist at all, and only imagine that I walk, I eat and sleep. Oh, if I only didn't exist. Oh. The devil only knows. Oh, day before yesterday, they were talking in the club. They said Shakespeare, Voltaire. I'd never read at all. And I put on an expression as if I read. And so did the others. Oh, how beastly, how petty. And then I remembered the woman I killed on Wednesday. And I couldn't get her out of my mind. And everything in my mind became crooked, nasty, wretched. So I went and drank.
Tuzenbakh enters with Irina and Vershinin. He's wearing new and fashionable civilian clothes.
Let's sit down here. Nobody will come in here.
The whole town would have been destroyed if it hadn't been for the soldiers. Good men. Splendid people. Oh, what a fine lot.
The time?
It's past 3 now. It's dawning.
They're all sitting in the dining room. Nobody is going. And that Solyony of yours is sitting there. Hadn't you better be going to sleep, Doctor?
It's all right. Oh, thank you.
Speaking's a bit difficult, eh, Ivan Romanovich? Good man. In vino veritas, the ancients used to say.
They keep on asking me to get up a concert in aid of the sufferers.
As if one could do anything.
It might be arranged if necessary. In my opinion, Maria Sergeyevna is an excellent pianist.
Yes, excellent.
She's forgotten everything. She hasn't played for 3 years. Or 4.
In this town, absolutely nobody understands music. Not a soul except myself. But I do understand it, and assure you on my word of honor that Maria Sergeyevna plays excellently with almost genius.
You're right, Baron. I'm awfully fond of Masha. She's very fine.
To be able to play so admirably and to realize that at the same time that nobody can understand you.
Yes. But it will be quite all right for her to take part in a concert. You see, I don't know anything about it. Perhaps it will even be all to the good. Although I must admit our director is a good man. A very good man, even a very clever man. Still, he has such views. Of course it isn't his business, but still, if you wish it, perhaps I'd better talk to him.
Chebutykin takes a porcelain clock into his hands and examines it.
I got so dirty while the fire was on, I don't look like anybody on earth. Yesterday, I happened to hear, casually, that they want to transfer our brigade to some distant place. Some said to Poland, others to Chita.
I heard so too. Well, if it is so, the town will be quite empty.
And we'll go away too.
But to smithereens!
To smash up such a valuable object. Oh, Ivan Romanovich, a very bad mark for your misbehavior.
That clock used to belong to our mother.
Oh, perhaps to your mother, but perhaps I didn't break it. Well, it only looks like I broke it. But perhaps we only think that we exist when really we don't. I don't know anything. Nobody knows anything. What are you looking at? Natasha has a little romance with Protopopov, and you don't see it. There you sit and see nothing. And Natasha has a little romance with Protopopov. Oh, won't you please accept this date?
Yes! How strange everything really is. When the fire broke out, I hurried off home. When I get there, I see the house is whole, uninjured, and in no danger. But my 2 girls are standing in the door, in just their underclothes. Their mother isn't there. The crowd is excited. Horses and dogs are running about. And the girls' faces are so agitated, terrified, beseeching, and I don't know what else. My heart was pain when I saw those faces. My God, I thought, what these girls will have to put up with if they live long. I caught them up and ran and still kept on thinking the one thing, what they will have to live through in this world. I come here and find their mother shouting and angry. And when my girls were standing by the door in just their underclothes and the street was red from the fire, there was a dreadful noise, and I thought that something of the sort used to happen many years ago when an enemy made a sudden attack and looted and burned. And at the same time, what a difference there really is between the present and the past. And when a little more time has gone by, and 200 or 300 years perhaps, people will look at our present life with just the same fear and the same contempt, and the whole past will seem clumsy and dull and very uncomfortable and strange. Oh, indeed, what a life, what life there will be. What a life! Forgive me, I've dropped into philosophy again. But please, let me continue. I do awfully want to philosophize. It's just how I feel at present. As if they're all asleep. As I was saying, what a life there will be. Only just imagine. There are only 3 persons like yourselves in the town just now, but in future generations there will be more and more and still more, and the time will come when everything will change and become as you would have it. People will live as you do, and then you too will go out of date. People will be born who are better than you. Yes, today I am quite exceptionally in the vein. I am devilishly keen on living. The power of love all ages know. From its assaults great good does grow.
Dum dum dum.
Dum dum.
Tra ra ra.
Tra ta ta.
I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out, down to the ground.
I don't see anything funny about it. Is everything burnt?
Absolutely. Nothing left at all. The guitar's burnt, and the photographs are burnt, and all my correspondence. And I was going to make you a present of a notebook, and that's burnt too.
No, you can't come here, Vasily Vasilovich. Please, go away.
Why can the Baron come here and I can't?
We really must go. How's the fire?
They say it's going down. No, I absolutely don't see why the Baron can and I can't.
Tum tum tum.
Dum dum.
Let's go into the dining room.
Oh, very well. We'll make a note of it. If I should try to make this clear, the geese would be annoyed, I fear. There, Tuzenbakh.
Oh, how Solyony smelt of tobacco. Oh, the Baron's asleep. Baron! Baron!
I'm tired, I must say. The brickworks. No, I'm not wandering. I mean it. I'm going to start work soon at the brickworks. I've already talked it over. Irina, you're so pale and beautiful and charming. Your paleness seems to shine through the dark as if it was a light. You are sad, displeased with life. Oh, come with me. Let's go and work together.
Nikolai Lvovich, go away from here.
Are you here? I didn't see you. Goodbye. I'll go. I look at you now and I remember as if it was long ago, your name day, when you cheerfully and merrily were talking about the joys of labor and how happy life seemed to me then. What has happened now? There are tears in your eyes. Go to bed now. It is already day. The morning begins. If only I was allowed to give my life for you.
Nikolai Lvovich, go away. What business?
I'm off.
Are you asleep, Fyodor? Shouldn't
Oh,
you go home?
my dear Masha, my darling Masha.
She's tired out. You might let her rest, Vidia.
I'll go at once. My wife's a good, splendid. I love you, my only one.
Amo, amas, amat, amamus, amatis, amant.
No, she really is wonderful. I've been your husband for 7 years. It seems like as if I was only married yesterday. On my word. Now you really are a wonderful woman. I'm satisfied, satisfied, satisfied.
I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored. But I can't get it out of my head. It's simply disgraceful. It has been gnawing away at me. I can't keep silent. I mean, about Andrei. He has mortgaged this house with the bank and his wife has got all the money, but the house doesn't belong to him alone, but to the four of us. He ought to know that if he's an honorable man.
What's the use, Masha? Andrei is in debt all around. Let him do as he pleases.
It's disgraceful anyway.
You and I are not poor. I work, take my classes, give private lessons. I'm a plain, honest man. Omnia meum mecum porto, as they say.
I don't want anything, but the unfairness of it disgusts me. You go, Fyodor.
You're tired. Just rest for half an hour. I'll sit and wait for you. Sleep. Satisfied. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied.
Yes, really. Andrei has grown smaller. How he snuffed out in age with that woman. He used to want to be a professor. And yesterday he was boasting that at last he had been made a member of the district council. He is a member, and Protopropov is chairman. The whole town talks about it and laughs about it, and he alone knows and sees nothing. And now everybody's gone to look at the fire, but he sits alone in his room and pays no attention, only just plays on his fiddle. Oh, it's awful, awful, awful. I can't bear it any longer. I can't. Throw me out. I can't bear anymore.
What is it, dear?
Where has everything gone? Where is it all? Oh my God. I've forgotten everything. Everything. I don't remember what is the Italian for window or, well, for ceiling. I forget everything. Every day, I forget it. And life passes and will never return. And we'll never go away to Moscow. I see that we'll never go.
Dear.
Oh, I am unhappy. I can't work. I shan't work. Enough. I used to be a telegraphist. Now I work at the town council offices and I have nothing but hate and contempt for all they give me to do. I'm already 23. I have already been at work for a long while. And my brain has dried up and I've grown thinner, plainer, older, and there's no relief of any sort. And time goes, and it seems all the while as if I'm going away from the real, the beautiful life, farther and farther away, down some precipice. I'm in despair, and I can't understand how is it that I am still alive, that I haven't killed myself.
Oh, don't cry, dear girl, don't cry. I suffer too.
I'm not crying. Enough. Look. I'm not crying anymore. Enough.
Dear, I tell you as a sister and a friend, if you want my advice, marry the Baron. You respect him. You think highly of him. It is true that he is not handsome, but he is so honorable and clean. People don't marry for love, but in order to do one's duty. I think so at any rate, and I'd marry without being in love. Whoever he was, I should marry him so long as he was a decent man, even if he was old.
I was always waiting until we should be settled in Moscow. There, I should meet my true love. I used to think about him and love him. But it's all turned out to be nonsense. All nonsense.
Oh, my dear, beautiful sister, I understand everything. When Baron Nikolai Lvovich left the army and came to us in evening dress, oh, he seemed so bad looking to me that I even started crying. He asked, "What are you crying for?" How could I tell him? But if God brought him to marry you, I should be happy. That would be different. Quite different.
Natasha walks the candle across the stage from right to left without saying anything.
She walks as if she set something on fire.
Masha, you're silly. You're the silliest of the family. Please forgive me for saying so.
I want to make a confession, dear sisters. My soul is in pain. I will confess to you, and never again to anybody. I'll tell you this minute. It's my secret, but you must know everything. I can't be silent. I love that man. You saw him only just now. Why don't I say it in one word? I love Vershinin.
Olga goes behind her screen.
Stop that. I don't hear you in any case.
What am I to do? First, he seemed queer to me. Then I was sorry for him. Then I fell in love with him. Fell in love with his voice, his words, his misfortunes, his two daughters.
I am not listening. You may talk any nonsense you like. It will be all the same. I shan't hear.
Oh, Olga, you are foolish. I am in love. That means that it is to be my fate. It means that it is to be my lot. And he loves me. It is all awful. Yes, it isn't good, is it? Irina, oh my dear, how are we going to live through our lives? What is to become of us? When you read a novel, it all seems so old and easy, but when you fall in love yourself, then you learn that nobody knows anything, and each must decide for himself. My dear ones, my sisters, I've confessed. Now I shall keep silence. Like the lunatics in Gogol's story, I'm going to be silent. Silent.
What do you want? I don't understand.
I already told you 10 times, Andrei Sergeyevich.
In the first place, I'm not Andrei Sergeyevich, but sir.
The firemen, sir, ask if they can go across your garden to the river. Else they go right round. It's a nuisance.
All right. Tell them it's all right. See, I'm tired of them. Where's Olga? I came to you for the key of the cupboard. I lost my own. You've got a little key?
Olga gives him the key. Irina goes behind her screen.
What a huge fire. But it's going down now. Hang it all. That Ferapont made me so angry that I talked nonsense to him. Sir, indeed. Why are you so silent, Olga? It's time you stopped all that nonsense and behave as if you were properly alive. You here, Masha? Irina's here? Well, since we're all here, let's come to a complete understanding once and for all. What have you against me? What is it?
Please don't, Andrei dear. We'll talk tomorrow. What an awful night.
Look, don't excite yourself. I asked you in perfect calmness. What have you against me? Now, tell me straight.
Rum tum tum.
Da, da, da. Goodbye, Olga. God bless you. Irina, Sleep well. Goodbye, Andrei. Go away now. They're tired. You can explain tomorrow.
Look, I only say this and go. Just now. Look, in the first place, you've got something against Natasha, my wife. Now, I've noticed it since the very day of our marriage. Natasha's a beautiful and honest creature, straight and honorable. Now, that's my opinion. I love and respect my wife, understand it? I respect her. And I insist that others should respect her too. Now, I repeat, she's an honest and honorable person. And all of your disapproval is simply silly. In the second place, you seem to be annoyed because I'm not a professor and I'm not engaged in study. But I work for the Zemsefo. I'm a member of the district council, and I consider my service as worthy and as high as the service of science. Now, I'm a member of the district council, and I'm proud of it. I'm really proud of it if you want to know the truth. Now, in the third place, and I still have this to say, I mortgaged the house without obtaining your permission. For that, I am to blame, and I ask to be forgiven. My debts led me into doing it. $35,000. Now, I do not play cards anymore. I stopped long ago. But the chief thing I have to say in my defense is that you girls receive a pension, and I don't. My wages, so to speak.
Is Masha there? Yeah, where is she? It's queer.
They don't hear. Natasha is a splendid, honest person. When I married, I thought we should be happy. All of us. But my God, my dear, dear sisters, don't believe me. Don't believe me.
Olga, who's knocking on the door?
It's Dr. Ivan Romanovich. He's drunk.
Oh, what a restless night. Olga, did you hear? They're taking the brigade away from us. It's going to be transferred to some place far away.
It's only a rumor.
Then we shall be left alone. Olga.
Well?
My dear, darling sister, I highly value the Baron. He's a splendid man. I'll marry him, I'll consent. Only let's go to Moscow. I implore you, let's go. There's nothing better than Moscow on earth. Let's go, Olga. Let's go.
The gold garden at the house of the Prozorovs.
You're a good sort, Fedotik. We got on so well together. Once again, goodbye, old man.
Au revoir.
It isn't au revoir, it's goodbye. We'll never meet again.
Who knows? Oh, here I've started crying.
We'll meet again sometime.
After 10 years or 15, we'll hardly know one another then. We'll say, how do you do? Coldly.
Fedotik takes a snapshot.
Keep still. One more for the last time.
Tuzenbakh, we shan't meet again. Thank you, Irina, for everything.
Oh, Rode, don't be in such a hurry.
We shall meet again, if God wills it. Write to us. Be sure to write.
Goodbye, trees. Yo! Goodbye, Echo.
Best wishes. Go and get yourselves wives in Poland. Your Polish wife will clasp you and call you kochanku.
Oh, there's less than an hour left. Solyony is the only one of our battery who's going on the barge. The rest of us are going with the main body. 3 batteries are leaving today, another 3 tomorrow, and then the town will be quiet and peaceful.
and terribly dull.
And where is Maria Sergeyevna?
Masha's in the garden.
We'd like to say goodbye to her.
Goodbye. I must go or else I'll start weeping. Oh, Kulygin, we've been so happy here.
Irina, here's Kulygin. Here are keepsakes for you. Notebooks with pencils. We'll go to the river from here.
Yo!
Yo!
Bye.
They've gone.
And they forgot to say goodbye to me.
But why is that?
I just forgot somehow. Though I'll soon see them again. I'm going tomorrow. Yes, just one day left. I shall be retired in a year. Well, then I'll come here again and finish my life near you. Oh, I've only 1 year before I get my pension. I'll come here to you and change my life radically. I'll be so quiet, so agreeable, respectable.
Yes, you ought to change your life, dear man, somehow or other.
Yes, I feel it. Oh, tarara boom die, tarara boom die.
Won't reform Ivan Ivanovich. We won't reform him.
Oh, if only I was apprenticed to you, Irina, then I'd reform.
Theodore has shaved his mustache. Oh, I can't bear to look at him.
Well, what about it?
I could tell you what your face looks like now, but it wouldn't be polite.
Well, it's the custom. It's modus vivendi. Our director is clean shaven, and so I too, when I received my inspectorship, had my mustaches removed. Nobody likes it, but it's all one to me. I'm satisfied. Whether I've got mustaches or not, I'm satisfied.
Andrei is wheeling a perambulator containing a sleeping infant.
Ivan Romanovich, be a darling. I'm awfully worried. You were out on the boulevard last night. Tell me, what happened?
What happened? Nothing. Quite a trifling matter, of no importance.
They say that Solyony and the Baron met yesterday on the boulevard near the theater.
Stop! What, right?
Near the theater, Solyony started behaving offensively to the Baron, who lost his temper and said something nasty.
I don't know. It's all bunkum.
At some seminary or other, a master wrote bunkum on an essay, and the student couldn't make the letter out. Thought it was the Latin word lucum. Awfully funny, that. They say that Solyony is in love with Irina and hates the Baron. That's quite natural. Irina is a very nice girl. She's even like Masha. She's so thoughtful. Only, Irina, your character is gentler. Though Masha's character, too, is a very good one. I'm very fond of Masha.
Everything seems to frighten me today. I've got everything ready, and I send my things off after dinner. The Baron and I will be married tomorrow. And tomorrow we go away to the brickworks. And the next day I go to the school, and the new life begins. God will help me. When I took my examination for the teacher's post, I actually wept for joy and gratitude. The cart will be here in a minute for my things.
Somehow or other, all this doesn't seem at all serious. As if it was all ideas and nothing really serious. Still, with all my soul, I wish you happiness.
My splendid, my dear, precious girl. You've gone on far ahead. I won't catch up with you. I'm left behind like a migrant bird grown old and unable to fly. Fly, my dear, fly, and God be with you. It's a pity you shaved your mustaches, Fyodor Ilyich.
Oh, drop it. Today the soldiers will be gone, and everything will go on as in the old days. Say what you will, Masha is a good, honest woman. I love her very much. Thank my fate for her. People have such different fates. There's a Kosarev who works in the excise department here. He was at school with me. He was expelled from the 5th class of the high school for being entirely unable to understand ut consecutivum. He's awfully hard up now and in poor health. And when I meet him, I say, I say to him, "How do you do, ut consecutivum?" "Yes," he says, "precisely consecutivum," and coughs. But I've been successful all my life. I'm happy. And I even have a Stanislaus Cross of the 2nd class. And now I myself teach others that ut consecutivum. Of course, I'm a clever man, much cleverer than many, but happiness doesn't only lie in that.
Tomorrow night, I shan't hear that maiden's prayer anymore. And I shan't be meeting Protopropov. Protopropov is sitting there in the drawing room, and he came today.
Hasn't the headmistress come yet?
No, she has been sent for. If you only knew how difficult it is for me to live alone without Olga. She lives at the high school, she, a headmistress, busy all day with her affairs, and I'm alone and bored with nothing to do and hate the room I live in. I've made up my mind. If I can't live in Moscow, then it must come to this. It's fate. It can't be helped. It's all the will of God. That's the truth. Nikolai Lebovich made a proposal. Well, I thought it over and made up my mind. He's a good man. It's quite remarkable how good he is. And suddenly, my soul put out wings. I became happy and lighthearted, and once again the desire for work came over me. Only something happened yesterday. Some secret dread has been hanging over me.
Luckham, rubbish.
The headmistress.
The headmistress has come. Let's go.
It is my washing day. Tarara boom die.
Here you
Masha.
are, sitting here doing nothing.
What then?
Nothing. Did you love my mother?
Very much.
And did she love you?
I don't remember that.
My man here. When our cook Martha used to ask about her gendarme, she used to say, "My man." Is he here?
Not yet.
When you take your happiness in little bits, in snatches, and then lose it, as I have done, you gradually get coarser, more bitter. I'm boiling in here.
She looks at Andrei with the perambulator.
There's our brother, Andrei. All our hopes in him have gone. There was once a great bell, 1,000 persons were hoisting it. Much money and labor had been spent on it when it suddenly fell and was broken. Suddenly, for no particular reason. Andrei is like that.
When are they going to stop making such a noise in the house?
They won't be much longer. Oh, my watch is very unfashionable. It strikes the hours. First, second, and fifth batteries will leave at 1 o'clock precisely. And I go tomorrow.
For good?
I don't know, ma'am. Perhaps I'll return in a year. The devil only knows. It's all one.
The town will grow empty. It will be as if they put a cover over it. You know, something happened yesterday by the theater. The whole town knows of it, but I don't.
Nothing. A silly little affair. Solyony started irritating the Baron, who lost his temper and insulted him. And so at last, Solyony had to challenge him. Oh, it's about time, I think. 12:30 in the public wood. That one that you can see from here across the river. Piff, paff. Solyony thinks he's Lermontov and even writes verses. That's all very well. But this is his third duel.
Whose?
Solyony's.
And the Baron?
What about the Baron?
Everything's all muddled up in my head. But I say it ought not to be allowed. He might wound the Baron or even kill him.
The Baron is a good man, but about what one Baron more or less, what difference does it make? It's all the same.
Hello.
You wait, that's Skvortsov shouting. One of the seconds. He's in a boat.
In my opinion, it's simply immoral to fight in a duel or to be present, even in the quality of a doctor.
It only seems so. We don't exist. There's nothing on Earth. We don't really live. It only seems we live. What does it matter anyway?
You talk and talk the whole day long. You live in a climate like this where it might snow any moment, and there you talk. I won't go into the house. I can't go there. Tell me when Vershinin comes. The migrant birds are already on the wing. Swans or geese, my dear happy things.
Our house, it will be empty. The officers will go away. You're going. My sister's getting married. And I alone will remain in the house.
And your wife?
A wife's a wife. I mean, she's honest, well-bred, yes, and kind. But with all that, there's still something about her that degenerates her into a petty, blind, even in some respects, misshapen animal. In any case, I mean, she isn't a man. You know, I tell you as a friend, that's the only man to whom I can lay bare my soul. I love Natasha, it's true. But sometimes she seems extraordinarily vulgar. And then I lose myself and I can't understand why I love her so much. Or at any rate, used to love her.
I'm going away tomorrow, old chap. And perhaps we'll never meet again. So here's my advice. Put on your cap, but take a stick in your hand. Go on and on without looking round. And the farther you go, the better.
Solyony passes with two officers. He catches sight of Chebutykin. The officers go on.
Doctor, it's time. It's 12:30 already.
Oh, half a minute. Oh, I'm tired of the lot of you. If anybody asks for me, say I'll be back soon.
He didn't have the time to sigh. The bear sat on him heavily. What are you groaning about, old man?
Stop it.
How's your health?
Mind your own business.
The old man is unnecessarily excited. I won't go far. I'll only just bring him down like a snipe. I've poured out a whole bottle of scent today on my hands, and they still smell of a dead body. Yes, you remember the poem. But he, the rebel, seeks the storm as if the storm will bring him rest.
Yes. He didn't have the time to sigh. The bear sat on him heavily.
Hey, run!
Documents to sign.
Go away. Leave me, please.
That's what documents are for. to be signed.
Cooey, Masha, cooey.
He seems to be the only man in the town who is glad that the soldiers are going.
One can understand that. The town will be empty.
My dear, I shall return soon.
Where are you going?
I must go into the town and then see the others off.
It's not true. Nikolai, why are you so absent-minded today? What took place by the theater yesterday?
In an hour's time, I shall return and be with you again, my darling. It's 5 years now since I fell in love with you and still can't get used to it. And you seem to me to grow more and more beautiful. What lovely, wonderful hair. What eyes. I'm going to take you away tomorrow. We shall work. We shall be rich. My dreams will come true. And you will be happy. But there's only one thing only. You don't love me.
It isn't in my power. I shall be your wife. I shall be true to you and obedient to you. But I can't love you. What can I do? I have never been in love in my life. Oh, I used to think so much of love. I have been thinking about it for so long, by day and by night. But my soul is like an expensive piano which is locked and the key lost. You seem so unhappy.
I didn't sleep at night. There is nothing in my life so awful as to be able to frighten me. Only that lost key torments my soul and does not let me sleep. Say something to me. Say something to me.
What can I say? What?
Anything.
Don't.
It is curious how silly, trivial little things, sometimes for no apparent reason, become significant. At first you laugh at these things. You think they're of no importance. You go on and feel that you haven't got the strength to stop yourself. Oh, don't. Let's talk about it. I am happy. It is as if for the first time in my life, I see these firs, maples, beeches, and they all look at me inquisitively and wait. What beautiful trees, and how beautiful when one comes to think about it. Life must be near them. It's time I went. There's a tree which has dried up, but it still sways in the breeze with the others. And so it seems to me that if I die, I shall still take part in life one way or another. Goodbye, dear. The papers which you gave me are on my table under the calendar.
I'm coming with you.
No. Irina!
What is it?
I haven't had any coffee today. Tell them to make me some.
Andrei Sergeyevich, it isn't as if the documents were mine. They are the government's. I didn't make them.
Oh, what has become of my past and where is it? I used to be young, happy, clever. I used to be able to think and frame clever ideas. The present and the future seem to be full of hope. Why do we almost before we have begun to live become dull and gray, uninteresting, lazy, apathetic, useless, and unhappy? This town has already been in existence for 200 years, and it has 100,000 inhabitants, not one of whom in any way different from the others. There's never been now or any time a single leader of men, a single scholar, an artist, or a man of even the slightest eminence who might arouse envy or a passionate desire to be imitated. They only eat, drink, sleep, and then they die. More people are born and also eat, drink, sleep, and so as to not go silly from boredom, they try to make life many-sided with their beastly backbiting, their vodka, the cards, in litigation. The wives deceive the husbands, and the husbands lie and pretend they see nothing and hear nothing. And the evil influence irresistibly oppresses the children, and the divine spark in them is extinguished. And they become just as pitiful corpses as just like them any other as their fathers and mothers. No, what do you want?
What? Oh, documents want signing.
I'm tired of you.
The half porter from the law clerk's court was just saying just now that in the winter there were 200 degrees of frost in Petersburg.
The present is beastly. But when I think of the future, how good it is. I feel so light, so free. There is a light in the distance. I see freedom. I see myself and my children freeing ourselves from vanities, from kvass, from goose bait with cabbage, from after dinner naps, from baseless idleness.
He was saying that 2,000 people were frozen to death. The people were frightened, he said, in Petersburg or Moscow. I don't remember which.
My dear sisters, my beautiful sisters. Masha, my sister.
Talking so loudly out here. Is that you, Andrei? You weak little Sophie. Il ne fait pas faire de bruit, la Sophie dormait déjà, vous êtes honneurs. If you want to talk, then give the perambulator and the baby to somebody else. Ferapont, take the perambulator.
Yes,
I'm speaking quietly.
Naughty Bovik, bad little Bovik.
All right. Look, I'll look them over and I'll sign if necessary. And you can take them back into the offices.
Andrei goes into the house reading the papers. Ferapont takes the perambulator to the back of the garden.
Bovik, what's your mother's name? Dear, dear. And who's this? That's Aunt Olga. Say to your aunt, how do you do, Olga?
Olga and Anfisa come out of the house to listen to the wandering musician. Irina comes up to them.
Our garden might be a public thoroughfare from the way people walk and ride across it. Nurse, give those musicians something.
Anfisa pays the musician.
Go away with God's blessing on you.
The musicians bow and go away.
Bitter sort of people. You don't play on a full stomach. How do you do, Arisha? Well, little girl, here I am, still alive, in the high school, together with little Olga in her official apartments. So the Lord has appointed for my old age, a sinful woman that I am. I've never lived like that in my life before. A large flat, government property, and I've a whole room and a bed all to myself, all government property. I wake up at nights and, oh God and Holy Mother, there isn't a happier person than I.
We're going soon, Olga Sergeyevna. It is time for me to go. I wish you every... Where's Maria Sergeyevna?
She's somewhere in the garden. I'll go and look for her.
If you'll be so kind, I haven't time.
I'll go and look too. Little Masha, cooey, cooey.
Everything comes to an end, and so we too must part. The town gave us a sort of farewell breakfast. We had champagne to drink, and the mayor made a speech. And I ate and listened, but my soul was here all the time. I'm so used to you now.
Shall we ever meet again?
Probably not. My wife and both my daughters will stay here another 2 months. If anything happens or if anything has to be done,
Oh, yes, of course. You need not worry. Tomorrow there won't be a single soldier left in town. It will all be a memory. And of course, for us, a new life will begin. None of our plans are coming right. I didn't want to be a headmistress, but they made me one all the same. Means there's no chance of Moscow.
Well, thank you for everything. Forgive me if I've said such an awful lot. Forgive me for that too. Don't think badly of me.
Why isn't Masha coming?
What else can I say in parting? Can I philosophize about anything? Life is heavy. To many of us, it seems dull and hopeless, but still, it must be acknowledged that it is getting lighter and clearer, and it seems that the time is not far off when it will be quite clear. It's time I went. Mankind used to be absorbed in wars, and all its existence was filled with campaigns, attacks, defeats. Now we've outlived all that, leaving after us a great waste place, which there is nothing to fill with at present. But mankind is looking for something, and will certainly find it. Oh, if it had only happened more quickly. If only education could be added to industry, and industry to education. It's time I went.
Oh, here she comes.
I came to say goodbye.
They share a prolonged kiss.
Oh, Masha, don't.
Write to me. Don't forget. Let me go. It's time. Take her, Olga Sergeyevna. It's time. I'm late.
He kisses Olga's hand in evident emotion, then embraces Masha once more and goes out quickly.
Oh, don't, Masha. Stop, dear.
Never mind, let her cry, let her. My dear Masha, my good Masha, you're my wife, and I'm happy. Whatever happens, I'm not complaining. I don't reproach you at all. Olga is a witness to it. Let's begin to live again as we used to. Not a single word, grant.
Masha, dear, we cannot hear you.
There stands a green oak by the sea, and a chain of bright gold is around it, and a chain of bright gold is around it. I'm going off my head. There stands a green oak by the sea.
Oh, don't, Masha, don't. Give her some water.
I'm not crying anymore.
She's not crying anymore. She's a good.
There stands a green oak by the sea, and a chain of bright gold is around it. A chain of bright gold is around it. An oak of green gold. I'm mixing it up. Life is dull. I don't want anything more now. I'll be all right in a moment. Doesn't matter. What did those lines mean? Why do they run in my head? My thoughts are all tangled.
Oh, be quiet, Masha. There's a good girl. Let's go in.
I shan't go in there. I'm not going to go into the house. I won't go.
Let's sit here together and say nothing. I'm going away tomorrow.
Yesterday, I took these whiskers and this beard from a boy in the 3rd class. Don't I look like the German master? Don't I? The boys are very amusing.
You really do look like that German of yours.
Yes.
Oh, don't, Masha.
It's a very good likeness.
Hil Ivanovich Potopova will sit with little Sophie, and Andrei Sergeyevich can take little Bobik out. Children are such a bother. Irina, it's such a pity you're going away tomorrow. Do stop just another week. Ah! Oh, you frightened me. Ah. Irina, I've grown used to you. And do you think it will be easy for me to part from you? I'm going to have Andrei and his violin put into your room. Let him fiddle away in there. And we'll put little Sophie into his room, the beautiful, lovely child. What a little girlie. Today she looked at me with such pretty eyes and said, Mama.
Beautiful child, it's true.
That means I shall have the place to myself tomorrow. In the first place, I shall have the avenue of fir trees cut down, then the maple. It's so ugly at nights. Oh, Irina, dear, that belt doesn't suit you at all. It's an error of taste. And I'll give orders to have lots and lots of little flowers planted there, and they'll smell. Excuse me, maid, why is there a fork lying about here on the seat? Why is there a fork lying about on the seat, I say? Don't you dare to answer me!
Temper.
Oh, they're going.
Going. Well, bon voyage. Kulygin, we must be going home. Where's my coat and hat?
I took them in. I'll bring them in a moment.
Yes, now we can all go home. It's time.
Olga Sergeyevna.
What is it? What is it?
Nothing. I don't know how to tell you.
Chebutykin whispers in Olga's ear.
Oh, it can't be true.
Yes. It's such a story. I'm tired out, exhausted. I won't say any more. Still, it's all the same.
What's happened?
Oh, this is a terrible day. Irina, I don't know how to tell you, dear.
What is it? Tell me quickly, what is it? For God's sake!
The Baron was killed in the duel just now.
I knew it! I knew it!
I'm tired. Oh, let him cry. Ta-ra-ra, boom, dear. It is my washing day. Isn't it all the same?
Oh, how the music plays. They're leaving us. One has quite left us, quite and forever. We remain alone to begin our life over again. We must live. We must live.
There will come a time when everybody will know why, for what purpose there is all this suffering. And there will be no more mysteries. But now, we must live. We must work, just work. Tomorrow I'll go away alone, and I'll teach and give my whole life to those who perhaps need it. It's autumn now. Soon it will be winter. The snow will cover everything, and I shall be working.
The bands are playing so gaily, so bravely, and one does so want to live. Oh my God, time will pass on, and we shall depart forever. We shall be forgotten. They will forget our faces, our voices, and even how many there were of us. But our suffering will turn into joy for those who will live after us. Happiness and peace will reign on earth, and people will remember with kindly words and bless those who are living now. Oh, dear sisters, our life is not yet at an end. Let us live. The music is so gay, so joyful, and it seems that in a little while we shall know why we are living, why we are suffering. If we could only know, if we could only know.
The sounds of the soldiers have been growing softer and softer. Kulygin, smiling happily, brings out the hat and coat. Andrei wheels out the perambulator in which Povik is sitting.
Tararabum-die, tararabum-die, it is my washing day. It's all the same. It's all the same.
If we could only know. If only we could know.